Ooh, we're
Yeah, we're
back.
almost there for Halloween time,
Yeah,
guys.
I got my bag of candy already.
It's gone.
I'm ready to go. I know you are pumped up because
I am.
this,
I
this
am.
is this is your favorite holiday of the year.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this since last year. So,
Eh, Yeah, and the interesting thing is Brandon loves Halloween for a lot of reasons, an awful lot of reasons. And it could start with his pumpkin spice coffee in the morning.
yeah. I go full blown. It's funny because I'm picky on it too. I don't like every single version that's out there. There's some really crappy ones out there, but there's some new ones that I've had that I like, and it's that time, and we might actually start to get some fall weather right now. So
What makes them different? Isn't the traditional pumpkin spice your coffee with the pumpkin spice in it, and then what, a little latte?
well, yeah, the thing is, sometimes they overdo the spice on a lot of stuff. It doesn't even turn from pumpkin spice. It's just too much spice. Like it's the same thing with the pumpkin beers. Like you still want to taste the pumpkin.
Right.
You still want a hint of that pumpkin. You don't need spice. Like I feel like a lot of people just put too much spice in it. So or you get the nutmeg over the and the cinnamon, but you're not getting there's no pumpkin. It's like, let me just dump a bunch of spice in this coffee and call it a day.
Now, do you get behind somebody that walks up to the counter and says, "Oh yeah, and I want half spice, extra pumpkin," or and do it like they do their regular lattes?
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it does happen. I go at weird times when I go and buy coffee. I go at weird times. It's usually in between rushes. I very rarely hit a coffee shop. I'm either too early, like
Right,
I've gone out for some runs at 5, and then when I'm done, I'll swing by and grab a coffee. There's hardly anybody there.
right.
Or I go just after that initial morning rush. So
Yeah. Get there about 9 o'clock, 9:30 or something after
yeah,
everybody's already.
drop Luke off at school, start my errands, and that's about 9 o'clock anyway, and everybody's kind of at work or doing whatever they got to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But and then it was actually Halloween was actually the reason that we met, going on many years ago, going probably 5 years ago or so. And that
yes,
was that
yes,
you were writing articles for a local magazine about spooky haunted places.
yeah, and actually, that one in particular, well, I did a bunch of them, but that one, the one that I've always been kind of fixated on is Goatman's Bridge in Denton. By the way, if you guys are watching this or listening to it today on a Tuesday, tomorrow on the Life of an Average Joe podcast, I'm live from Goatman's Bridge. Like I have, yeah, there'll be video and footage, and so I'll be at Goatman's Bridge. We're going to find out what's going on there and see what's happening. But I finally, after all this time, I finally get to go explore it. So I'm ready.
Now you going when the sun is up or when the sun goes down?
So with this podcast, I say live. That's not fair. I dropped a new podcast tomorrow, but it's multiple. I'll have been there during the day and then in the evening.
Ooh.
I am not there at midnight, but I am there where it's dark enough where something should happen, and it came out pretty good. The video came out fun, and then the podcast. So I'm excited. I get to go to Goatman's Bridge. That's just another urban legend, potential myth of something in the area that and they're all across the country, but this one has always stuck out with me.
Well, make sure you tune in. After you share this show with all your friends and family, and all, check out Life of an Average Joe podcast and all. And do not miss Goatman's Bridge.
Wow, I'm ready for it. I was going to do it a year ago. I was supposed to go to a graveyard a year before that, but yeah, this has been wild.
And wherever you are, watching this show, and I'll check out with your the Google in, local haunted houses, because almost everywhere in the country there's some
Oh,
house, like you said, bridge, a park, some area or something that somebody has said there are some strange things going on there.
You know, that we have all those urban legends and stuff too, besides just the hauntings, the urban legends of things that have happened, you know, whether it's some mystical creature or a murder or something. And we have those all across. I mean, I mean, even some of the biggest urban legends like Bigfoot, you know, there's still sightings today, and it's in a general region. So it always makes you scratch your head and go, I know a percentage of these are fake. I know that.
Yeah.
But what about the other stuff? What does it mean?
Yeah, and why? You know, what was it, was it based on? And there are always those people that will say, you may say that I'm just giving you a line of hooey and all, but trust me, I've been there and I have either seen the figures in the dark, or I have heard noises. I just read a story or something about a couple that bought an old mansion somewhere in Florida, and all. And we're not talking cheapo here. I think it was something like they $1.4 million they paid for this place. They moved in. 6 months later, they put it back on the market because they said the house was haunted and that they could not sleep at night, that there were sounds going off, things were dropping from shelves for no reason. There were no hurricanes or anything. They just were things that they could not explain, and they felt that whoever the previous owners were, going back a while, it was an old place, couldn't stay, put it up on the market to get rid of it again.
Look, I'm a firm believer in that stuff. We've talked about it a lot. I have my own experiences, but I'm not necessarily one of those people that says that everything is evil or everything's supernatural. But I find it, if we have been on this planet's, you know, millions of years old, whatever, we're still discovering stuff. I mean,
Sure.
creature, why can't it be possible that a creature, a Bigfoot, a something, lives in a remote area where there isn't that many people, that we just haven't really seen it? Why can't it be possible? You know?
Or there have been sightings, but nobody has been confirmed that it is a real creature. The Loch Ness
Right.
monster and Bigfoot are key.
And
That
I think you said it right there. Nobody's confirmed. They haven't had enough DNA or evidence to confirm what it is.
Yeah, kind of bizarre and strange, but there are organizations of ghost hunters,
Oh yeah,
people that not necessarily just around Halloween, but any other time of the year.
that's what they
Somebody
do.
says, that there's something going on over there at that house, over on Elm Street, and they have, so groups that go out there and check it out, and they'll
Well,
they'll camp out all night long waiting for something to happen.
well, so that brings me, you know, like, so have you ever, and I don't know if you have, so you know the movies The Conjuring, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so those movies are based off real people. And if you actually go and look at their website, you know, they have their house and all those things that they have that they've taken from somebody else's house, they store them there in this area, and they take all the precautions in the world because, again, one of the most famous ones is the Annabelle doll. They to this day say that that Annabelle doll is one of the most evil possessed dolls. Now it's an old Raggedy Ann doll. It's not like the doll from the movie. It's an old Raggedy Ann doll. They have it in a case. It's blessed. They tell you not to look at it. I don't believe that those people are making it up, because the other five people that had that doll all experienced something. So there's no way that that all those people got together and made up a lie about it. I just don't believe it. I don't know why that doll's evil. I don't know what's going on with it, but I don't want it, you know.
but again, this kind of goes back to a discussion we had a while ago, is that when a person passes away, where does their spirit go? And does their
Right.
spirit go off to do good, or does their spirit go off to try and get back at the people that they had encountered in their life? There's a lot of religions that believe that. A lot of the Caribbean cultures and
Absolutely.
all believe that that those curses will live forever, and you
I
just have to
agree with
learn
them.
how. You just have to learn to live with it. And they have ceremonies against
Yep.
those evil spirits, but they don't get rid of them.
And when we talk about those creatures, we talk about Bigfoot and all that. Have you ever heard of the Mothman?
I have, but I'm not sure I know the story.
So the Mothman is old school West Virginia folklore, basically. And the story goes that there was a couple that was going out to this area out in Point Pleasant, okay, somewhere in West Virginia. I don't know. I haven't been there. And they went out on a ride, and they were going by this area that used to be a World War II munitions facility.
Okay.
And they were doing what couples do. And this Mothman, this half man, half moth looking creature landed on their car, put put its imprint on there, had glowing red eyes, and then flew away. Well, the thing about it is the car itself did have some damage on the hood that looked to be talons or claws. But of course, nobody believed them. They don't believe him at all. And everybody said, look, this is the Mothman. But what was interesting more about it was that they believed that in 1975, the Mothman came back, and it's now been associated with disasters. There was a collapse of the Silver Bridge. You guys can Google this. This part's real. The collapse of the Silver Bridge, that the Mothman was present in that town. There was multiple sightings of this Mothman. And the Mothman was on the bridge and was seen on the bridge by many people. And then that bridge collapsed that day. It's actually in a film with Richard Gere called The Mothman Prophecies, if you ever want to watch it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's some of those movies that they make, and it says it's based on true events. Uh, you have to say to yourself how much is actually gospel and how much of it was kind of embellished a little bit for
Sure.
the movie. But if
For the
if
film,
it was
yeah.
based on true events or true occurrences or whatever, there's something that's been documented about it.
Again, I don't think that multiple people that had zero connection together saw something that looked like the Mothman or something on that bridge, and then that bridge just happened to collapse. I mean, I know coincidence, but when you have people that are telling the same image that haven't spoken to each other, now they do a festival every year in that area for Mothman. I would love to go to that. But yeah, they're
Uh,
having it.
keep the legend alive.
Keep the legend alive, and it's a tourist thing now, right? And they haven't seen it. Apparently, there was a picture in 2008 that somebody took that was supposed to be the Mothman. Turned out it was fake. But then in 2009, somebody saw it at like a, I don't want to say department store, but like a strip mall. It was at night. They were driving home. They looked over, and there was this creature sitting on top of the strip mall. Well, later that night, the whole strip mall caught on fire. I, who knows what that is?
And you wonder if somebody really planned out just the perfect, you know, uh,
I
I,
know.
that's why I rarely went trick or treating after total darkness.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would go out around 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I'd be home by 7.
Well, now now they tell you that the hours like but I'm like, isn't part of trick or treating to be out
Yeah.
at night? Like that's the whole purpose.
Yeah. 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 I mean, aren't you, isn't that what Halloween is all about? Is to try and
Yeah.
put yourself into that circumstance where you're walking home and all of a sudden you start hearing things that you normally wouldn't hear.
Right. And everybody's dressed up anyway. And you have all kinds of weird houses that there are like, you should see my house, man. I I'm fully gone now. Like it's like my neighbor's got to be like, who just moved in here? There's zombies hanging off. I got skeletons on my fence. I got blown up cats. Like it's crazy,
And they went, oh, there goes the neighborhood.
man. Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying every year to buy something. Like I trade out some of my cheaper decorations for okay, I'm gonna buy this. So in the next 5, 10 years, I can really have some epic stuff. But here's another one, the chupacabra. I know you've heard of chupacabra.
Yeah.
So when you look at the chupacabra, what it is, it's the Mexican goat sucker. Okay. But did you know that just recently, in the last 2 years, they think they've actually found the chupacabra? You
Where?
can you can Google it. Now it's not this lizard creature. They believe that it's a crossbreed between a coyote and a certain type of wolf. And it's given that long snout, almost no fur, which is why they're saying it looks like it's like losing its fur. Very sharp, pointy fangs, which explains why goats are getting attacked and there's 2 puncture wounds in it. They found it down in Texas, some part south, and but there's video footage of an animal. They have that they I mean it's real. It's from a police officer's dash cam.
Oh, really?
And
Ooh.
yeah, you could Google it. It's great. And then they found a dead one and they've actually ran its DNA and they said they've never seen anything like it. But it is this mutated crossbreed of some type of wolf that lives in that area. And it's not like your wolves that you get up in Alaska, a different type, more coyote-esque. And a normal dog it's created this mutant gene that's caused it to look this way. And they think that that's what people are calling the chupacabra.
And now when you turn on TV, every channel is running, either some new Chucky movie, or they're running the old ones. The
Yeah.
uh, Poltergeist is being shown on some of the channels again. Well, it. I guess it all goes back when we were kids and we used to read the story of the headless horseman. Uh, that started to plant that in kids' heads, and all
Yeah.
that. Some of them just said, "No way," and others just started to eat it up.
That's another one on my bucket list is to go down. It's to go to Sleepy Hollow in upstate New York,
Yeah.
where the headless horse and you should see what they do for Halloween.
Oh yeah. They
I want to live there.
recreated every year.
Yeah. Well, you're right. That was the headless horseman. That's the old tales. Or did you ever hear the movie Candyman, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so back in the day, they had a thing called Bloody Mary. Did you used to do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you just sit there. I won't do it just
Yeah.
because.
I did one time. One time.
Yeah, I think I did too, but I feel like nowadays I can't afford anything, so I don't want to deal with some demon trying to kill me. But people that came. Oh, there I go. There's Bloody Mary. That came from somewhere. There was something happened that was based off of the Candyman was a fictitious story, but again, based off that, or you always had those weird houses in the neighborhood, and you're like, well, you know what happened there,
Right. And then your answer is no, what? And then they tell you. And now every time you go into that neighborhood, you go around the block to avoid going by that house.
Exactly. You're like, I'm going to stay away from that, because Mr. Smith is a vampire, or something like that.
Well, one of the best known steakhouses here in our town. You wrote a story about the fact that at night they say there are still inhabitants of the original family of that old house that are on the second floor, and they only have a couple of small dining rooms up on the second floor. The rest of it is not even used, and they say that it's haunted.
Yeah, you could talk to the wait staff, the bartenders there. They've all experienced something. The tablecloth moves, the silverware falls down.
Yeah.
And again, these are servers and staff that have rotated, been there for years, and they're all experiencing it. You know,
And you
so
wonder, have they rotated by choice,
right, you
or
know,
did the spirits remove them?
I mean, just downtown Frisco as well by the train, in that old village by whatever Babes. There's that house that's haunted that you can tour there, and it's haunted, and they explain why. And I
And
mean, I haven't seen anything when I've gone there, and I've gone there plenty of times, but you never know.
and all over the country, for a lot of people that are watching and listening to us that come from these small towns with town squares, where they had that little central square and the old courthouse,
Yeah,
that very often they talk around Halloween, that for some unexplained reason the courthouse has been unoccupied for years and years and years, and all of a sudden there's lights on, and they can't explain it. The doors are boarded and locked, and you swear, oh, it's probably some guy that went in through the basement, went upstairs, and turned on
right.
some lights. You know, they check into it and they say there's no reason that they can come up with.
And I'm telling you, again, some of it probably explainable. Others, I don't know. Look, I
Well,
think the Goatman Bridge thing, based on what I've read and what I've seen, I think it's like a 60-40. I think 60% of it's probably nonsense. But I think there's a 40% thing that I have no idea.
but it's the 40% that'll scare the bejesus out of you.
Yes, absolutely. And it's the fact that I am not the only one that goes to that bridge. Let me
Right.
tell you.
Well, wherever you are going into Halloween, whether you're going to see who is under the Goatman Bridge, or if you're just going to knock on doors and fill your little pumpkin with candy,
Right.
it's a great experience, not only for kids, but it's funny that there's a lot of adults that use their kids as the excuse
Well,
to
why
go
not?
out there trick or treating every year. You know, get involved in it and all, and turn it into a party thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and every once in a while, some people turn their houses or their garages or whatever into haunted houses,
I
and
love that. Yeah, I love that.
you love it. I can't do it. It does. I know that it's all put together, but it's still, when something pops out in front of me and I don't know it was coming,
Fair.
I'll lose my dinner.
Oh man, I love it. And like I said, Luke's at that age where he's intrigued.
Yeah.
I still won't let him watch stuff, but there's been some pretty fun Halloween stuff on Disney Plus.
Yep.
That's been actually pretty cool. And they just dropped the new Monsters movie on Netflix. So we'll see how that is. But
Yeah, you can always see the Peanuts does Halloween too.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
Mickey,
Charlie Brown Halloween.
yeah.
Well, go out and make it safe. Have a good time. Have fun. Think about us and check out Life of an Average Joe. Story the story from Goatman Bridge. So go out, make it a good one.
See you later,
Yep.
guys.
And happy Halloween to everybody. Bye.